sit down. It is true. 3 years ago, I was in jail. My husband called. He called and said that I had physically attacked him. So I never had a speeding ticket. Nothing ever on my record ever. And I find myself in maximum security in jail. And I always thought I was better than that. A CO found out that I was an actual ordained minister. And in jail, that's not exactly the best thing to have known while I was in there. I hated my husband. Hated him. The night I was put in my cell, I got divorce papers served to me. And I hadn't done anything. So I'm in there, and I'm mad at God, I'm mad at everybody, and I don't know what to do. When I went out after the CO told some people that I was a pastor, what got me was one of my cellies pulled me to the side and said, "Do you see what you just did during our hour break? We had an hour in the morning, an hour at night. No TV, no telephone, nothing except the hour morning, hour at night. And you're on a 22-hour lockdown." So during 3 days later, one of my cellies pulled me aside and said, "Do you see what you just did?" I said, "What?" She goes, "When you came out, where did you go?" I said, "Right here." "And where did you go after that?" "Well, then I went and talked to them." "And then what did you do after that?" "Well, I went and talked to them." She said, "Did you notice everybody's staying in their race, but you're the only one walking around talking to everybody?" In the 7 days I was there, a chaplain only came one time for a half hour to the women's. But we could see the men's side, and he was there every day for hours. So that's what my heart really, because I was there maximum security with these women. When they found out that I was going to be released that night, over half of this women came up to me and asked me, "Can you pray for me before you leave?" You don't look at these women, you don't realize that these are women who are wives, mothers, daughters, sisters, and they want something, they're just so hard. That's why I want to get back into there. That's why this prison and jail is so important to me. Yes, I was put in there for, totally what I wasn't supposed to be. I ended up pleading no contest, getting 3 years probation, 52 weeks of domestic violence class, and I had to check in every month. I had a probation officer call me a month later, said, "We got something different for you. You don't, usually a criminal case like yours, you have to come in every month to see your probation officer. That's just how it's done. But for some reason, you can call in every month now." So I got telephone reporting, which is unheard of, usually. And then when I finished my 52 weeks of domestic violence class, my teacher asked me, "What are you going to do now?" And I said, "Well, in a couple of weeks, I want to go to court and see if I can get my probation stopped." And she said, "How long have you been on probation?" I said, "Almost a year and a half. I'm going to be on probation for 2.5 years before they consider stopping you." So I checked in with my probation officer, and I told her the same thing, and she said the same thing. She goes, "They're not going to release you. Mrs. McGhee, they don't do that." So I went to the attorney who had modified the restraining order because I couldn't see my husband. When I was released from jail, I was supposed to have a police escort from Fairfield to Vacaville. The police escort never showed up. That's not known. Vacaville is on point. They do it. They said there was nobody to take me. So I have a friend who came and got me, and I had to go to the house to get my stuff. And that night, God worked a miracle. That night, God completely restored my marriage. Totally, completely. When I showed up, he was on the porch. I'm going to be honest, I'm going to be real. Walked on the porch and said, "Can I talk to you?" I cussed him out. I hated him. I had told the judge that day when we were in court in family law, I said, "Give me the papers, I'll sign them right now. I want nothing to do with this man. I hate him." I went on and on and on to the judge said, "Okay, Miss McGhee, okay, Miss McGhee. Okay, Miss McGhee, shut up." That was my point. I hated him. I was done with him. He had an affair on me earlier in our marriage. Physically abusive. I had no friends because he didn't want me to have them. Then he calls the cops on me in February. They didn't take me in. He called the cops again in August, and I was taken in then. I hated him. I hated him. The next day he went to court and dropped everything. Wow. I got the kids back the next day. Then we found out since this was criminal court, we had to go back to criminal court. So we couldn't see each other for about 4 weeks, except for the exchange of kids. He actually moved with his mom and let me live in the house with the kids. So we go to court, and the judge reversed the restraining order. He said, I'm glad to see you guys want to work this out. So back to my probation, to the lawyer that, I go to him to try to stop the probation. And he said, they're not going to let you do this, Miss McGhee. He goes, actually, I feel sorry for you, so next time you come in, because he's going to say no, next time you come in, I'll do it for free. Because I feel like I'm taking your money. That morning, the lawyer didn't even show up. He sent an assistant because he knew it was going to be no. So I get up there, the judge calls my name, and what had happened is 2 days before my probation officer called me and said, do you want me to do a note for you to give to the judge? I said, yeah, for what? She said, well, just to say that you've checked in on time, you paid off all your dues, you were good, you did all this. I was like, sure, yeah. So she gave me that note. I had medical notes also because I've had cancer. I have a bag. I don't have no colon whatsoever. So, get up there. The judge said, what are you here for? I said, I'm here to start my probation. He's looking through my stuff. He goes, okay, so you're here for domestic violence? I said, yeah. He goes, is Mr. McGhee here with you? My husband stood up and said yes. And he said, I see you have some paperwork. He goes, I'm probably going to deny this, but go ahead, show me your paperwork. So I gave him my medical stuff. I gave him my probation things. And I gave him that I've been done with the 52 weeks of domestic violence. He looks at me and goes, this is a good note from a probation officer? I said, yeah. He goes, I've been working for 22 years. I've never got one good note from the probation officer, ever. What are you here for again? So I'm here to stop our probation. He goes, how long do you have it? I said, 3 years. He goes, oh, I've been on it for 1.5 years. He goes, well, what about expunging it? What about getting it off the record? And I said, well, if you stop it now, I'll come back in a couple of months. He said, you don't need to come back. It's off your record. And it's stopped. So I've been on probation last February, over about a year and a half ago, when technically I should have just stopped probation September 1st of this year. Amen. I say all that to say God's able. He is able. And He's able to do that with these women in prison also, and the men. We need to get them there. They want the love of God. My dad didn't talk to me. My pastors didn't talk to me. I couldn't talk to my husband or call the kids because there was a restraining order. I'd be put in jail for 3 years if I contacted them. No questions asked. These women, it got to, I asked for a Bible. They told me you cannot have a Bible until 8-9 days into your, to being in jail. Somebody had told me the same night, well, if you ask for a Quran, you get it pretty quick. So I asked for one, I got it the next day. So we need to get in there and show these people, these women, these men, the love of God. Yes. That God loves them. Because God showed me when I was in there, my first court date, this was September, it's August 30th. My court date when I went to court wasn't until the end of October. So, I'm mad. I had, those little spoons that they give you with your lunch and dinner that I never ate. I lost 16 pounds in 7 days that I didn't eat there. I was getting it and walking up and down the border of the bricks because I was sharpening it. Because the girl that attacked me, who wanted to rape me, was supposed to get out the next 2 days after. I go, God, if I'm not out here by Friday morning, getting this thing and I'm killing her, I'm just going to jab it till I'm dead. So Wednesday night I get, McGhee, you have a visitor. I was going to visit me, I've been talking to him. Get up there, they said, it's your lawyer. My lawyer was a young white lady. This older black guy walks in. I'm going, you're my lawyer? He goes, yeah. Your lawyer's overbooked, so I took you. He goes, so that moves in your court date. I'm going, great, this is everything that end of October. He goes, how's tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock sound? When I got to my jail cell, he fell on my face and God said, I'm always on time, I'm never behind. Little did I know that 24 hours later, my marriage would be back on point. I'm in love with this man more than I ever have been. We've been together since we were 19. We're 41 now. We celebrated 20 years of marriage in May. Wow. And in August, it was 22 years that we've been together. So, because of where I've been, that's why I want to get into the prisons. I know I have to wait some time because even though it's off my record, I still have to wait, due process and stuff. But when I get in there, Satan better watch out.